Broadcasting. Live. From the chicken wing capital of the world, Buffalo, New York. You're listening to the Marketing Above All podcast. Your source for all things, marketing and total world domination. This is Marketing Above All, and this is your host, Michael Tasner.
Welcome to episode number 17. Today's topic is this. What do you want your prospects to do first? There's a lot of mistakes that I see when it comes to local marketing and really just marketing in general. I mean, I've seen every mistake in the book, and I'd be lying to you if I told you that I haven't made plenty marketing mistakes. I mean, that's how you continue to learn and grow, is through your mistakes, as long as you're learning something from them. But the one that I see day in and day out that I promise you then that at least in some capacity you're currently doing, have done, or are about to do is confuse the heck out of your prospects. So let me illustrate. So let's say that I've got a list of like 1,800 different types of local businesses. So I want to start continuing to reference other types of businesses. So let's say you're a locksmith and you're looking at doing some marketing. And you look at a whole variety of other areas. So you probably are going to consider radio. And I'm not saying that that's a good or a bad thing, but you'll continue to learn my love of radio in future episodes. I say love with air quotes. And the reason you might be considering radio is because often those sales reps are hounding local businesses like there's no tomorrow. Calling. Hey, we want to get you on air. And I mean, radio is a little sexy. It's kind of fun to hear an ad on one of the main radio stations. So let's say that you end up committing to doing a month or two's worth of marketing. And again, I'll shoot a future episode of, not just pros and cons, but how you can really make sure that you're getting the best bang for your buck with radio. But this one tip today will drastically improve not just your radio, but any of the marketing that you're doing. So you're working with the rep on radio, and they're kind of guiding you a little bit on, well, what's the offer, or what do we want to say? And you go back and forth a little bit, and the call to action piece is what I'm most interested in for this particular episode. Because the calls to action often end up being something like this. Make sure you come by and visit ABC Locksmith at 123 Main Street. Check us out on Facebook, or visit us online at abcmainstreetlocksmith.com. So you're giving all these options. Now, if you think about it logically, and you think about it real quickly, you might rationalize it and say, well, what if someone doesn't want to stop by and they want to visit the website first? Or maybe they're obsessed with Facebook like most of us, and they want to check us out on Facebook first. So you might be able to rationalize it that way, and that often is how most local businesses rationalize it when they put out flyers. It doesn't just have a website address, it's going to have a phone number, maybe an email address, maybe an address, if you have a physical place you're trying to get them to. If you're in a completely different line of work, let's say you're offering tax prep services, you're probably going to have a phone number, a website, maybe some social media icons on a flyer. You're going to have all these different calls to action. But what this is doing is two completely different things. The first one that it's doing is that it's confusing the heck out of your prospects. Your prospects are inherently lazy. They need to be directed. They need to be told what to do. You need to tell them this is step One, otherwise, they get into analysis paralysis or they don't take any action. And this is kind of like going to the grocery store and you're looking for peanut butter, and then there's 64 different kinds of peanut butter. There's all these case studies of how people pick their peanut butter, and there's the psychology of colors and pride. Like there's a million different things. But often at the grocery store, you don't end up buying certain things because you cannot make up your mind. Like you're like overwhelmed with all of the options. So I'm looking for you to simplify the journey and the process for your prospect. Now, the second thing that it's doing, so the first one again is you're confusing people by giving them too many different calls to action. Like this, one of the things that drives me absolutely bonkers, is advertising with billboards. But so that drives me crazy. But the piece that drives me bonkers are the billboards that have an icon for Facebook or Twitter or Pinterest or YouTube, just the icon. So you're essentially putting up a billboard and you're paying for free advertising for Facebook and these other platforms. You're not putting up your link, you're literally putting up their logo as if you having the logo to Facebook is going to add credibility to your business. It does not, it does the opposite. It's distracting from the message. So you're confusing, again, these prospects. Now, the second thing, again, is you're not putting your best foot forward. And that's why I started this episode with, what do you want your prospects to do first? What do you want them to do? Now, the best way to answer that question is to look at one of a couple of things. But usually, where do you have the best customer service or best interaction? And then it also depends on the product or service that you're offering. If it's highly technical, you either want them visiting the website first and learning more about it before they call, or it might be the opposite, that you don't want them looking at the website or stopping by. You want them to call. Call this number, call this number. It depends on your business, but I always like to look at, where is my experience for my prospect going to be the best? If I know that my team sucks on the phone, then I sure as heck don't want people calling the phone. I might want to push them to the website if I know that my website's going to have an amazing experience. So the first factor really is looking at, where is your business the strongest at helping them get closer to that sale? The latter part of that, closer to the sale, is also what's going to influence where you should direct them. Example, if you're selling furniture, which is always a fun experience to go and buy furniture at one of these furniture stores. You walk in and then there's like 50 salespeople on top of you like white on rice. You really don't want to take them to the website. You really don't want them calling because they're probably going to be price shopping. You want to drive them to your location. So when you're then advertising on radio, TV, anywhere else, not just radio, TV, but flyers, direct mail, email marketing, everything needs to tell your prospects what to do first. And that first piece, and that particular instance, would be visit us. Visit us, visit us, visit us. Do not provide your phone number. Don't mention the website. Don't say like us on Facebook. On all of your materials, the address needs to be the focus of the advertisement. Whether, again, that's email, social media, print, radio. Your call to action on your radio ad should be, visit us at 123 Main Street. And then you would repeat it again. Visit us again, that's 123 Main Street. You would repeat it because you're emphasizing that. And again, you're not mentioning other calls to action. What do you want your prospects to do first? You answer that question and then you push all of your marketing towards that. Huge takeaway for you today. If this is something that you execute, I promise you that you will see this back in spades. Create a great rest of your day. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Marketing Above All. Now get out there, make a change, and take some action. And hey, don't forget to leave a 5-star review and tell all your friends this is the greatest marketing podcast ever. We look forward to seeing you here tomorrow.